So we're still so confident about the age of the universe and that the Big Bang happened, and here we come with this discovery that basically proves what they're saying wrong. Then what makes us think that the Big Bang is still right?
The way you're looking at this is it makes absolutely no sense. Let's say that we thought North America was 3,000 miles across, and then we learned that it's actually 3,100 miles across. Does that mean we had no idea how big the United States was, or North America?
So how are we going based off the age of the Big Bang and that it happened?
So
How?
that's not even close to what we're talking about. If we thought North America was 3,000 miles wide, and it turns out it's 3,100 miles wide, then what would be the problem there? Would you
So
say that we had no idea how big it was?
this is I didn't get to my point. Was we're going based off the way that the universe is expanding and what we've noticed from the age of these
Yep.
galaxies, right? So if we're wrong
Okay.
about the age of these
The,
galaxies, then
but we're barely wrong. Okay, I did the numbers, and even if the universe is 200 million years older than we thought it was, that still means that we were 98.5% accurate as to the age of it. So when you
but
say we have no idea how old the universe is, that's a ridiculous statement.
well, it's true. You, like I said, take the time to read the article, and these scientists that work for NASA themselves have said they had to rewrite this and that they are literally wrong about all this the information that they found out. Think about it. If they found they don't know that
If
there's
if the
galaxies,
answer is supposed if the answer is if our margin of error is 1.5%, then yes, you can say we're
but we don't
wrong.
know
But
it's
do you
that. That's the
understand how
thing.
it's completely dishonest to say we were completely wrong? To be completely wrong about the Big Bang would be to discover that we live in a universe that doesn't even expand. Do you think that the universe doesn't even expand?
It does expand. Yes.
Okay, then you believe in the Big Bang.
The so see that like you can't. That doesn't make sense. You can't say that this is right and this is the answer when science is always being proven wrong, and that's the point. You're saying that
No,
oh
there
well
are proven scientific facts like that the universe expands.
right, but yet again there's other things into
In your
put
in
into
your worldview,
consideration.
there's no such thing as anything that's true according to the scientific method. Atoms don't exist according to you.
That's
Cells
not what I'm
don't
saying.
exist according to you.
Not what I'm
Matter and
saying.
energy don't exist according to you.
Not what I'm saying.
Well, you said science is always wrong.
Yes, correct. It is, right? It's always
Okay,
wrong.
then atoms and cells and gravity and the Earth orbiting the sun, none of those things are true in your worldview.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Completely right. Sure, then we can go on and
Exactly.
say that if that floats your boat. But my point is that you're already
No, this
saying,
is
oh,
your worldview.
my point is that you're over here saying, oh, well, then the universe is 200 million years older than we thought. But there's no proof on that, is my point. Based off of the evidence that they obtained, they're not saying that. That's exactly what you said. You said,
What
oh,
are
well,
they
I did
saying?
the calculations and well, take your time and read it because I already showed you this section that backs up
I
my
did
point.
read it, and it doesn't
Oh,
give a
you read it
date.
that fast? Well, that was pretty damn fast, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It doesn't give a date. This is a if this was on paper, this would be 1.5 pages. This is very few words. These galaxies appear to be roughly 13.5 billion years old. Great.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the previously known oldest galaxies were, I'm not sure, they even say our galaxy might be 13.6 billion years old. So I mean, that I this there's no problem here. Last year, scientists spotted four galaxies that date to around 350 million years after the Big Bang. So, like, what does that mean? The universe is a couple 100 million years older than we thought it was. Again, if it is, then that means that our number is still somewhere. It's our number is still more than 95% accurate. So, therefore, what? You're saying the Big Bang is totally wrong, and that's completely not true. The universe expands. How
Right.
old is it precisely? We're Now that we have better technology, we can get a more precise date. The Big Bang isn't wrong.
So you're That just it's not just the universe is expanding. There's proof that the Big Bang happens. Doesn't That's not how that works.
That's a big part of how it works.
Right, but you there's a lot more into consideration. So the fact that they found galaxies, like I said, older than we initially thought, doesn't make sense. How is it that there's So look, how is it that there's galaxies older than I mean, yes, older than our galaxy when they shouldn't even be as old as they are, right? That basically means if the universe
The better
happened,
question would be, if we're finding galaxies that are that old, does it mean that the universe does not expand?
but
If you
yet
want to
again,
say the
that
Big
would
Bang is
disprove the
wrong,
Big
you
Bang.
have to show evidence that the universe isn't expanding. Or perhaps you believe in the steady state model, which holds to an expanding universe but maintains that matter is constantly being created within that universe. So if you want to say the Big Bang is wrong, then you have to show either evidence of matter being constantly created and the density of matter in our universe not changing, or the universe isn't expanding at all. Can you do
So
either of those things?
it's
Because this information you gave me does neither of those things.
okay. So look, they take a picture of what they initially thought was the beginning of when galaxies started forming. They found galaxies that were around 13.5 billion years old. How is it
Yep.
that these galaxies are that old in that time? It doesn't make sense. That means that you need to take it back 13.5 billion years ago to actually
The
figure out like
universe
how
is
old the
older than
universe is.
13.5 billion years old.
Oh my god, you're
Are
not getting
you
what I'm
trying
saying.
to say that we need to add an additional 13.5 billion years to the age of the universe? Because that is loopy.
I just need you to take your time to read these articles, right? And just come back to me, okay? Just please.
I'm not sure if you read the article because the article says nothing other than maybe the universe is a little bit older than we thought it was, but it gives no proposed dates for how much older the universe could be. And again, this article doesn't debunk the Big Bang or anything like that, because for the millionth time, you'd have to show evidence that the universe doesn't even expand or that matter is constantly created in the universe. And this article does neither of those things.
It's just crazy, man. The very first question I asked you was, "Are you rock hard on the Big Bang happened?" Science is always being proven wrong. It's always being proven wrong. That's literally the
It's
point of
also
science, is
always
to
being
prove.
proven right. Did you know that? Did you know that science is also always being proven right?
And
You know how
then what
many
do you know?
times
We figured.
gravity has been confirmed? You know how many times we've confirmed that subatomic particles exist? You know how many
Crazy
times we've
because
confirmed that the universe expands? You
it's
know how many
almost
times we've confirmed that germs cause disease?
it's
You know
almost
how
as
many
if we're seeing
times
it
we've
through.
confirmed that
Yes,
that life is composed of cells?
it's almost
You know how many times
as if
we've
it
confirmed that the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time?
it's almost
You know
as
how
if
many
we're
times
seeing it
we've
through our
proven
perspective,
that planets
right?
orbit in ellipses?
It's
You know
almost
how
as
many
if we're
times
seeing
we've
it.
proven
It's almost as if we're
as
seeing
you
it through our
separate
eyes.
that if you separate magnets from each other, they drop off with the inverse of the square of the distance? You
Define
know how many
physical,
times we've
bro.
done that?
Define physical, right? Something where
Made of
we're
matter.
seeing physical, correct, which is all we
What are you
understand.
doing? What are you
Physical,
doing?
bro. It
You're
common
trolling.
use no use your common sense.
You're trolling.
No, I'm not. Use your common sense. We perceive things in our senses,
What does
obviously.
this have to do with
So
anything?
how is it that we're
Are
so
you now
sure that,
giving me presuppositionalist apologetics?
bro? What the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, it's
What
literally
are
just
you
think about
talking
it.
about? What are you actually
Look,
talking
let me
about?
dumb it down. Let me dumb it down for you real quick. We speak English,
Yeah,
right? There's
girlfriend,
letters.
no.
Look, we speak English.
I promise you are. I can tell that you are very unlearned. You didn't even understand the
No,
implications
no,
of
no.
your
Let
own
me look,
article,
look, look.
and you say things like that nothing
We're
is true in
speaking. We
science.
speak English, right? And we make
Daddy,
sentences from it, right?
Daddy,
Math is the
chill.
same way. Math is literally the same thing. Math is literally language that you have to put together for it to make sense. That's literally how it works.
Therefore,
Therefore, math existing in our world in the way that we understand it, which is the only way we can understand it, is my point.
dude, you, that was your point? Because remember, this started with you saying science is always proven wrong. And
Correct.
so your point is that we use math. Dude,
Yeah,
if
you
you did
obviously don't get
stand
it,
up,
bro.
you would be one of the funniest
Yeah,
stand up comedians of all time.
you're
But
laughing
all you
because you
would be
don't get
doing
it.
is just
That's why.
saying what you think is
You're
true.
laughing because you don't
It'd be
get it.
you'd be the most ironic and funny comedian of all time. Dude, do open mics and just tell people
Can you
what
explain
you
to me how
just
math
said.
works? Is math a universal thing? Just let me ask you that. Do you think
What?
math is a universal thing? Let me just ask you that real quick.
If you can demonstrate
No,
what
no, no.
your
Answer the
actual
question. Why
point
are you
is, then
dodging
I'll
it?
engage with
No, no,
this,
no, no.
because you're asking
It,
questions
you're dodging my
with, I don't
question.
think, any goal in mind.
You see how you're dodging my question because you don't understand it. Is math
No, well,
something
I don't like
that's
my
out there?
time being wasted, and you've
Okay,
done
you're
that.
proving my point. Thank you for not answering my question because you don't understand what
Is
I'm trying
math
to get at.
universal? I think math is
Answer the question.
universal, yeah,
You
but that's
think math
because
is
we've
universal.
standardized the way math works.
So, how is it that something that we made up and we use it on a daily basis for an everyday life, right? Something we made
Because
up
the universe operates according to fixed
because
natural law. That's
we
going to be the answer to your question. But
math
go ahead and finish
literally
your question, but I guarantee
math
that's the answer.
math is literally like English. It's literally just that simple. Math is literally like English.
What is, again, what is your point? Math is like English,
Keyword
therefore.
man-made.
So, like, next time you say something and you think you're
Keyword
making a
man-made.
point, end end your statement with therefore, and then try to keep going. Okay, so math is literally like English, therefore.
Therefore, my point, man-made. Something to help us
What was the
understand.
point of saying that
Help
math is
help
man-made?
help
So
us
what?
under help
What's
us
the point of math being
help
man-made?
us understand in ways that we can.
You keep what? Therefore, what?
Therefore, how are you going based off something that is we made? It doesn't make sense, bro.
How is it that you navigate and understand the world? Give me one concept that
Your
was not
senses,
invented by somebody
your
that you use to
senses,
understand the
your
world.
senses.
Okay, taking in sensory, trees can take in sensory information, but they can't understand anything based on that. So tell me, what metacognitive tools are you using to make sense of everything around you? And make sure that you don't mention any social conventions that were developed by people.
It's it's literally your okay.
See, you
You
lost
were
because
born.
you're explaining this to me with words, and words were made up by people. So therefore, your point, you lose. The moment you started talking, you lost. But go ahead.
So okay, obviously we have our senses, which is how we work and operate, right? So what would happen without these senses? What if our understanding of the universe is completely different because of our senses? Maybe our senses are different
That
than
that
anything
could
else.
be the case.
So,
That could already be the case. You
well,
may
what do
see
you know?
colors differently than I do. Therefore,
Therefore, changing everything. Wow, it's almost as if it's always being proven wrong. Almost as if you proved my point. Thank you.
no, nobody's. I haven't proven any of your points. You haven't proven any of your points either.
You literally just proved my point. You literally just proved my point.
No, I
Do you,
didn't.
do you need me to go back so you can understand a little better, or because it makes sense? You just
You
explained it
know what?
yourself.
I guarantee that you can't even reframe what I said, even though it was only 20 seconds ago.
So look,
So repeat
if
what I said and then tell me how it proves your point.
okay, so if I'm seeing blue, and the blue that I'm seeing is green for you, then what does that mean?
It means that we both see something and we label it the same. So you
No,
did
no,
get
no, that
that
is
pretty
not what
much
I said.
correct.
See how you completely mix it up. If I see
I was
what I
answering
believe,
your question.
if I see what I believe to be blue, and you see something that isn't the same color as me that I believe to be blue, and you're seeing something completely different, then what does that mean?
It means that we see it differently, but we call it the same thing.
That's literally not what I said.
You're asking me a question. You're telling me to answer your question by saying something that you said,
You're
then
literally
why are you
adding.
asking me a
You're
question?
literally adding that. Oh well, we're labeling it as the same thing. It's not what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
we are. Yes, it
If
is.
I see what I believe to be blue, and you see a different color, and I never said anything about labeling us to blue, then what does that mean?
It means that we're seeing different things, but we're going to call them the same thing. Somebody
No,
who's
well, like why are you
colorblind, which
adding
there
that?
are
That makes
colorblind
no
people,
sense.
are still perfectly capable of discerning the leaves from the tree. And they can label a leaf and a tree, and I can label a leaf and a tree, but we
Alright.
whittle, we
You,
see them as
bro, you don't have
different
to get
colors.
mathematical with this. Like it was just a question. It was just a question.
Mathematical?
It was just a question. If there's if there's a
Yeah,
we
and
understand
that was just an answer.
we understand things a way different way than let's say as if something else were. So it would completely change up the entire concept and
Yeah, man, you
everything
put way
of
too
it.
much weight in adjectives.
Let me repeat that. If if I am born with different senses than let's say something else, then it would completely change up everything, right? Because I am
No,
defining
it wouldn't.
something.
There are colorblind
Dude,
people. There are
that you're
people
now
who are
you.
literally
I'm not even
blind,
talking
like
about
Stevie
that, bro.
Wonder, who know
I'm
all
not even,
kinds of things about music theory and
bro.
have developed beautiful
I'm
music
not
and
even.
probably made new contributions to the way we understand music. And they operate in a sensory
Bro,
world that is completely different from everybody else.
so okay, let's just say these little aliens were born with different senses, and therefore they created their own concept of what we think math in a different way to solve the universe
Yep.
or what they believe to be the universe. And what if their
Yep.
solutions are completely different to ours? Just because our senses give us different equations to find solutions.
Okay. So earlier when I said because the universe operates according to fixed natural law, this is what I was talking about. No matter what kind of, let's say that instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we called the numbers, let's just say one didn't exist. So what we call two, or sorry, one is actually called two. So there's no one, it starts at two, and then three, four, blah, 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 blah. When we would write down the digits of pi, they would be different digits, but it would still be the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. It would still be an irrational number because the relationship between those two things would still be what it is.